Welcome to Up to the Minute. It is a Thursday for all of those of you keeping track right now. The 26th of August. I'm Todd Duplantis. Great to have you with us. We've got your HCC news and information for the next half hour. We've got some special treats. We're going to take you out to HCC's Northwest College in a few moments. And also our Thursday virtual family fun day guest. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But my co-host this morning, Dr. Tony Rayo-Sutherland. Good morning, Tony. How's it going?
Good morning. Good morning.
It's a Thursday. Yeah, it's a Thursday. I keep saying, we're through this summer, but one thing we can't forget is we are in the busiest season for hurricanes, at least in Texas. So Gulf of Mexico, very active. We're going to keep you up to date. Make sure you are, if you're a faculty or staff member, make sure all of your information is updated. If you're a student, same thing as well. If we need to get a hold of you in an emergency situation, preferably we'd like to text you first, and we need to have your updated cell phone number. So if you change your number, don't get our text. Make sure you go in and do so, because these are important times to be in touch, nonetheless because of COVID, but also because of hurricane season, Dr. Tony.
Absolutely. And if you want to find us otherwise, we are, of course, live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And just look for Houston Community College District, and you'll find us. And we are back on HCCTV cable channel, noon and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So you can look at us on Up to the Minute. But the main thing, too, is that text, because that's the quickest way to get a hold of you.
Yeah, any emergency, and it's not just hurricanes or COVID situations. Any emergency on a campus, we need to get a hold of you, and your phone number, we've got to have that. So make sure it's updated during these times. Okay, Tony, stand by, because we're going to check in with you in a little while. You'll be interviewing this next guest. We've got Becky Seabrook, and she's the guest engagement at the Health Museum of Houston. Good morning, Becky. How are you? All right, we're going to check in with you probably in about 10 minutes. So grab a cup of coffee and we'll be back with you shortly. First off, we're going to take you out to HCC's Northwest College. He's been very busy on social media this week. Couple reasons why. Dr. Zach Hodges, the president, was on the topic on Tuesday. He was live on the topic talking about a new Katie partnership with the University of Victoria. And I know he's been very active on social media, because I forgot to mention earlier this week, it's his birthday week. So happy belated birthday to you, Dr. Hodges.
Thank you, Todd. Great to be here. I made it through my birthday and all the wonderful gestures that people celebrated me with. So taking a deep breath, busy time of year.
It certainly is. It's a busy time of year, going into a brand new semester for our students. Of course, now a lot of our students are going to be going online, at least for the first 4 weeks, because of the COVID situation. But you also have the workforce courses have been meeting in person really for quite some time, and they'll continue doing so for those specific workforce programs. Do you have some of those at the Northwest College that are meeting in person during this time?
Yeah, we do. Let me talk for a second about where we're located. I'm president over our West Side campuses that are in Katy, Spring Branch, and A-Leaf, West Chase, and then also our Bissonnette campus. We're also connected in with the school district. So this is a busy time. Our campuses are open. We've chosen to keep our students online for the first 4 weeks. Coming out of our cave from COVID, students are emerging. They're registering for in-person classes. Our enrollment is really robust. I was worried that students are still distracted, but they're coming back. They're going to be back on campus. Right now, our early college high schools are all over the place. Our dual credit is thriving. I'm just really, really feeling good. But I want to really thank our staff. Our staff has really been pushed to the limit as far as maintaining our virtual labs, our virtual contacts, but also our in-person contacts with all our students coming back. So, it's a busy time for me, but I can't even imagine how busy it is for the staff on the front line. I walk by there and I see our students being served, and it's safety first, but students come first. So
right.
We need to get students where they belong, and we do such a good job of that at Houston Community College.
Dr. Hodges, I wanted to ask you about some special things out there. Of course, we have to mention off the top, you've got a wonderful program with engineering and some partnerships with some major universities, UT, Tyler, Texas A&M, the academies. Maybe you can update us on the programs you have going on with engineering. And then I also want to briefly cover the UH Victoria partnership again as well.
Well, I don't know how many years ago it was, probably 8 years ago, we had 50 engineering majors. Now we have over 2,500. Many of them are attending our academies with U of H, Cullen College of Engineering, Texas A&M. Many of those students are on track for the UT Tyler program. You can get the entire program from the upper level from University of Texas Tyler at our A-Leaf West Chase campus. It's a thriving program. Over 500 students are enrolled at the UT Tyler campus. So we're all of a sudden I'm in the engineering business. So I'm really excited about that. The academy at U of H Victoria, I think we have 31, not U of H Victoria, the academy at Katy through the Cullen College of Engineering has 31 students enrolled, I believe, maybe 41. But those students are doing the first 2 years with Houston Community College. Cullen College teaches engineering. We teach the academic courses. Great partnership, very similar to the A&M partnership.
And the new Katy campus, that's looking to go online in the spring. And I know if you're looking to learn more about it, we really took a deep dive into it on the topic, and that's shared in social media. But real briefly, you got a great partnership with UH Victoria out there in tandem with the new Katy campus.
Yeah, U of H Katy really is made up of the Cullen College of Engineering, the School of Nursing, and the University of Houston, Victoria. What we say is starting Katy, finishing Katy, and that message is resonating in the community. You can do it your way. If you're a high school student, you can get a lot of dual credit from Houston Community College, from Katy ISD, then go straight, finish with us, go on through UH Victoria and be through before you're 20 years old. So lots of options that are unfamiliar with many people that look at higher education, and really encourage people to explore all our options at Houston Community College. It's cost effective, small classes, all the benefits of the community college, plus transferring right into the university and finishing up, and bang, you're through. And then spend the money that you saved on a master's or a doctorate.
We're certainly, you're saving tens of thousands of dollars in the long run when you get into these partnerships with U of H doing half of your course load and then transferring to the other partnering university. I want to talk about your partnership. It's kind of unique. In Houston and really around the country right now, the trend is working remotely, and some people may want to work out of an office setting, and there are these temporary office settings where you can go rent space, and a lot of companies doing that to save money. You have a unique partnership with the Canon company, which has working spaces in West Houston. Maybe you can tell us about that.
The work environment in the 21st century, the number one skill is going to be creativity and flexibility and innovation. And the end result is innovation. The Canon is stepping up to mentor our students as far as exploring how they can be creative and challenge them in new ways. A lot of students don't know what they don't know. And when they see the exposure of an entrepreneurial environment where they can take whatever their ideas are, build on those ideas, build on creativity, that's a huge opportunity for our students. It's really what the 21st century is all about. So I'm real excited, and I want to thank the Canon for that. If you're interested, go to our, maybe a little early to go to our website. So what I would say is get in touch with our student activities person, and we'll get you hooked into that club. But it's exciting development. The Canon's coming to us, and we're going to them.
Finally, a few moments left, but we want to touch on the Center for Entrepreneurship. This is really taking off under your direction, and I know you've got a lot of players on that team there, and a lot of businesses going through and becoming a success, and a lot of students getting some great mentorship through that Center for Entrepreneurship.
And right now we're in the middle of the Mattress Mac School of Selling. Nobody is better at selling than Mattress Mac. So he opens with the video on each of the 6 sections. And that's online right now. If you Google HCC Mattress Mac School of Selling, you can participate. Plus, we offer the mentoring and the coaching that you're talking about. Small businesses are the backbone of this country, and we're right in the middle of supporting those small businesses.
Dr. Zachary Hodges, president of HCC's Northwest College, we appreciate you being on the show. Once again, happy belated birthday, continued success out there, and here's to a good semester.
Thanks, Todd. Always appreciate it.
All right, take care. Okay, we are going to move on to our Thursday virtual family fun day guest. Dr. Tony Rayo-Sutherland is going to be talking with the Health Museum of Houston. Tony, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. And we have Becky Seabrook, and she is the guest engagement person at the Health Museum. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always so exciting to hear what's going on. I'm so impressed by so many of the programs that are happening at HCC. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you on. The Health Museum, that just seems like such a wonderful place. It's a different kind of museum. It's very interactive. And we'll talk about that. But first, tell us a little bit about, I know that there's a lot of information out there about COVID, the COVID vaccine, all of that, but not all of it is accurate. I understand that you've partnered with the Smithsonian to tell us what are the true facts about it.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this partnership goes back to fall of 2019 when we brought an exhibit called Outbreak, Epidemics in a Connected World to the museum. And we knew it was an important topic. We just didn't realize just how relevant it was going to be. So we've actually been doing a lot around epidemics and how they spread, and how they can be slowed down and stopped for a while. But obviously, then a couple of months later, we found ourselves in the middle of a major pandemic. So earlier this spring, we were one of 10 cultural organizations across the country that partnered with the Smithsonian on a web portal called Vaccines and Us, Cultural Organizations for Community Health. And it's just been an incredible experience of working with our partners here in the Texas Medical Center and other museums across the country to really bring accessible and accurate information so that people can find some of the answers that they're looking for. So it's been a great project to work on, but then we also realize that it doesn't just stop with the information. So we've been trying to do as much as possible. In fact, as we speak, we're partnering with Harris County Public Health. They are on the first floor of the museum doing vaccinations all day today. We had a great vaccination drive last week. They're back again this week. It'll be going all day long. And so it's really wonderful to see after doing a lot of education around it. It's great to see actually the shots in the arms, because that's what's going to get us through this pandemic and get us back to normal. So.
Absolutely. And speaking of being a part of it and interactive and all of that, there's so much to learn there. I saw some things on your website. It's like 360 degrees. You can look at all these exhibits. Even if you can't get there, you can look at it on the website. But going there is even better, because I saw that you have you can go inside of a brain. You can do things like that. Tell us a little bit about some of these different exhibits you have, and how you teach students and families about health.
Right. So most of the museums across the country that deal with health or medicine really focus on objects, collections of objects, but the Health Museum is more of an interactive science center type experience. So we see people from, some of the youngest, probably around, 3 and 4 years old, up to, people that are, retired in their 80s, 90s even. So it's a great experience to work with the community. Right now, we do have the Outbreak exhibit, and for a couple more weeks, we have an exhibit called Brain, the World Inside Your Head, which goes all about the brain and how it works. It's really fascinating. It's one of my favorite subjects. But then pretty soon we have a new exhibit coming, and it opens on September 18th, and it's called Beautiful Minds, Dyslexia and the Creative Advantage. So speaking of creativity, Dr. Hodges was referring to the importance of creativity. We're really kind of delve into that. What is dyslexia? How is it identified? How can you help students and even adults that have it, and not just kind of assist them with some of the reading challenges that come along with it, but really tap into that creativity that people with dyslexia have. It just a whole different way of seeing the world. So I'm really excited about that one too. That'll be a lot of fun. We always have our DeBakey Cell Lab is going to be back online next week after doing some updates at the end of a really busy summer. So that's always a wonderful experience, whether it's a child or an adult or a family in there together, where they actually can go into a wet lab and do experiments on DNA and things like that. So there's a lot going on.
You can feel like you're an actual scientist. You put on your robe or whatever you call the lab coat and all Absolutely. Of that. You just go right into it.
Absolutely. We've got the lab coat, we've got the gloves, we've got the goggles, so get all suited up.
It's wonderful. And Houston is one of the places that has one of the worst air pollutions one of the places. And so you also have an exhibit that talks about, it says, Your Body, Your Air. Tell us a little bit about that. And this is the perfect place to learn about it.
Absolutely. So we were really fortunate to have a partnership with the Environmental Defense Fund. And through a grant from the National Academies of Science, we were able to create a small community exhibit called Your Body, Your Air. And it talks about the connection between air pollution and human health. And I think a lot of times, because air pollution is something that we really can't see or don't think about unless we see one of those major plumes in the sky over Houston. But it's a huge issue in Houston. And so kind of looking at what some of those pollutants are and what some of the issues they can cause in the body or make worse, especially asthma. Asthma is a huge deal in this area, especially with children. So we've got this exhibit and also a website that goes along with it. So if you can't see the exhibit itself, you can still see a lot of the information. And right now it's on tour with the Houston Public Library System. So it's been to 2 branches already, and it'll make its next stop at the Central Library branch in September. So we've gotten great feedback. People really enjoy the exhibit. So I think it's a wonderful way to kind of continue the conversation even outside of the museum building, kind of really getting into the community. So that's been a wonderful project to work on.
I think what's so neat is that sometimes, with kids, it's like, well, we got to go to the doctor today. Well, that doesn't sound like a good thing to do. It's kind of scary. But going to a health museum kind of takes some of that fear away, I think, because it's interactive, it's learning, it's fun. So you kind of get the fun part of what it's all about.
Absolutely. I think trying to take the intimidation out of it and really empowering people to live healthier lives, even with COVID, which can be a really nerve-wracking thing for some people right now. We have our little plush models of the COVID, so that when the kids come up to our discovery carts and are talking with some of the medical students and some of the educators, it's not as intimidating, and they feel more comfortable asking the questions that they have. So that's we take that part really seriously. Is the fun part is really important.
And you have an exhibit that deals with veterans. What is that about?
Absolutely. So there is a photo exhibit in the museum right now called the Veteran Vision Project. It's a project that's been going on for several years and was started by a photographer named Devin Mitchell out of Arizona State University. And what he did is he created a series actually of hundreds of different photos of veterans. And what it really captures is using a mirror in each of the pictures. It captures both the military identity, kind of as a whether it's Army or Navy or in the reserves, with their reflection of their civilian identity. Because I think oftentimes one of the challenges is transitioning between the two, especially for those that are coming back from service and transitioning back into civilian life. So that's the large theme that his pictures explore, and along with it oftentimes are stories from those that are featured in there. So it can be everything from dealing with the loss of a fellow soldier and PTSD to having had a chance to see the world through military experience, to finding work-life balance. So it's a wonderful collection of photos, and we've got some of them at the museum as well as a little video about the artist himself and the project.
Well, tell us about the hours. How much it costs, if anything. Do you have to wear a mask? Tell us a little bit about what we need to do to come to the Health Museum.
Sure. So we still have all of the COVID precautions in place. We've had mandatory masking in place, regardless of vaccination status, kind of all through. So masking is very important. And for those that don't have one, we do have ones that they can purchase when they get their tickets. The museum is open from 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 in the afternoon on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. On Thursday, we have extended hours until 7 o'clock, and from 2 to 7, we have Free Family Thursday. So everyone is welcome to the museum to experience the museum for free. The only upcharge that we have on Thursday is for our lab experience. And then we also do have Sunday hours from 12 to 5. So that is our schedule right now. Once Labor Day comes around, we are going to be closed on Mondays in the fall. And in terms of admission prices, it's $10 for adults and $8 for children and seniors. And we also have a program in place called Museums for All. And anyone that has the SNAP benefit card, the Lone Star card, can come to the museum at any day, any time that we're open for $3, whether it's an adult or a child. So we're trying to make it as open and accessible to everybody in the community that's interested in checking us out.
That's a definite bargain. Well, we really appreciate you being on the show and telling everybody about all this wonderful stuff that we can do.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And if anyone is interested in information, you could just go to thehealthmuseum.org, and there's lots of information there about programs, about exhibits that are happening.
Thank you very much. Well, this is Becky Seabrook, guest engagement at the Health Museum. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And so, is it now time for announcements, Todd?
Yes, time for the news. Okay, kids, get your pens and paper ready because you want to jot down this information. Dance Fever is happening in HCC's Northwest College. And HCC Northwest Community Dance classes are being offered through a collaboration with Spring Branch ISD. It's about $149 a semester, pretty good bargain. You could learn ballet, tap, jazz, Zumba, and Middle Eastern dancing, maybe even the hustle. Who knows? But sign up today. We'll have some links in the social media post for the show. And if you're a student and you've got questions about the upcoming semester, there are 3 ways you can learn.
Yes, mostly remember myeagle.hccs.edu. Go there, and there are 3 different ways that you can learn about what your classes are going to be for the first 4 weeks. You go to the student sign in, go to manage classes. If there's a green bar, that means it's online on a schedule for 4 weeks. If there's not a green bar, then you are going to go ahead and go on in person because probably it's because it's a workforce class. Another way is just log on to Canvas, log on to the Eagle Online Canvas and check the announcements from your instructor. And then third, and one of the best ways is just check your email, check your HCCS student email, because instructors are going to be, I'm one of them, sending out information about what you're going to do the first 4 weeks.
That's right. So if you need those information, remember to go to My Eagle. That's the key here. And we'll have a link to that in the social media post for the show. Okay, fall classes are underway. The fall semester's already happening, but it's not too late to sign up for a semester. We have the second start semester starting on September the 20th. You can still sign up for classes. We are hoping in the next few weeks to get back to in-person classes. We'll be updating those announcements really on a weekly basis, so you'll have a good idea by the 20th of where you're going to go and how you're going to take your classes. One way or another, you can take your classes online, or in cases of workforce programs, you'll take them in person on campus following CDC guidelines. They've actually been doing that on campus with like welding, truck driving, courses, pipe fitting that you have to have instruction in person. They've been doing that safely since June a year ago, following CDC guidelines. The academic classes, we are doing those online. So if you've got English or maybe a science class without a lab, that's happening online. So those online courses are happening for the next 4 weeks. First 4 weeks of classes, then we're hoping to get you back on campus where you'll have small classes in person, but following CDC guidelines. Sign up now if you want to register for the second start semester. Go to hccs.edu/now for all your registration needs. So Tony, tomorrow on the show, we've made it through yet another week. We've got some special guests joining us tomorrow. Let's see, Film Friday is going to be tomorrow.
Yes, the Museum of Fine Arts is going to talk to us a little bit about the films that they present. And so film lovers, you get to go back in person to the museum to see the stuff.
That's right. And we'll have a student success story. Those are always great to highlight. So tune in tomorrow morning. Remember, we're live on Facebook and YouTube every morning under Houston Community College District, weekdays, that is, 10 a.m. You can catch our rebroadcast at noon and 5 p.m. on HCCTV. She's Dr. Tony Rayo Sutherland. I'm Todd Duplantis. We'll see all of you tomorrow morning on Up to the Minute.